Hello, everyone, and welcome to another session of the Mastermind Book Club. In this session, we are going over a book that our mastermind, Reggie Hilliard, will introduce. This is his chance to be awesome.
Thank you, David. Welcome everyone to the Mastermind Book Club. Today we're doing a second installment of a book called The China Study from Colin Campbell. It's myself and the Honorable David Diaz and my colleague Martha Johnson here to represent the group this week. This week we're touching on, like I said, the second installment of three. Essentially, the book is about the compelling argument about how or why a plant-based diet is much the best thing to eat versus anything else. This part of the book is focused on, at least the part I'll focus on, is sort of the protein intake that we have or that we take in, and touching upon the different types of protein. Whereas if you take protein from animal-based sources, i.e., casein and milk, versus like the protein in plant-based protein, all the studies conclusively have shown that you'll see higher incidences of cancer and other diseases or ailments or issues coming up with with protein that's coming from animal sources, whereas no instances that you see where plant-based protein is causing any problems with the individuals who are in the studies. So that's pretty compelling. Again, as I use that word, incontrovertible, because meaning you can't go against it. Incontrovertible means it's like complete truth there. And they've done these studies over and over again, constantly get the same results. Very, very, very interesting thing that I heard in the book where it talked about, because you have a scenario where they're doing a study in China, you're getting all this data, and also comparing it to outside of China, US, and that sort of thing. And there was a point where it talked about the incidence of I forget what it was, but it was, I think, let me say it right. I'll scratch that, but nonetheless, it was talking about diseases like breast cancer in women, whereas there were multiples of incidences, for example, where the women were getting these diseases when it came down to the protein, the animal source protein. It was like a five-fold difference in the US, I think it was, versus like China, if I'm saying that right. And it was another disease as they were talking about with the males. But nonetheless, again, compelling argument, plant-based versus plant-based protein, plant-based diet versus the diets which consist of protein or just diets and the animal sources. And they were saying we really should stick to somewhere around 9 to 10% in terms of that protein, as opposed to higher numbers of 15 to 20% of of the diet consisting of animal source protein. So 9 to 10% of the diet should be at most that, but again, sticking to the diet where you want to stick with plant-based. So that's where I'll start with. I want to be a little cleaner on that, but that should be sufficient for today.
Thank you, Reggie Hilliard. That's an awesome review. Martha Johnson, you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Good evening, everyone. This powerful book for Colin Campbell. He argument the key optimal for health and longevity is the whole food plant base, and they have a lot of information in this book. And one of it was the free radicals. For me, they produce in our body, and these free radicals that are responsible for a lot of for aging in our body and for a lot of disease, and the way they be activated for the pollution we have it in everywhere for industrial food, and either for improper nutrition, for the wrong nutrition we have it all the time. In the whole food diet plants, they produce minerals, vitamins, and antioxidants. They prevent our body for a lot of diseases. And the antioxidants, they prevent, they protect our cells to be damaged. And for me, the whole food diet plants, they are redox our body for be with the drugs therapy. they create a lot of side effects in our body. And when we have the proper diet, like fruit plants, we prevent these diseases, and we prevent they have a drugs therapy, and they what doctors prescribe all the time. And for me, when you start this diet, the benefits is a few days. You can see the benefits in your body in a few days, and you continue with this diet. It's going to be for the long time, long life for you and your family. That's what I get for this amazing book. And I recommend it to everyone to read it because they have a lot of good information to protect your body, to be in drugs therapy, affects another part of your body. The cure one part of your body, but affects another part of your body. And that's what I get for this terrific book.
Thank you, Martha. Thank you very much. This part 2 has a lot of information, so I will be very brief, very brief. Number 1, Atkins diet. Is it good or bad? The tests show that it's good, but the reality is it's not great. If you stop eating everything and you go into the Atkins diet, it'll be good for the short term, but in the long term, you're making more harm. So, I mean, it's risky. You're at risk, higher risk for heart attacks and so on, and other illnesses. 2, low carb diet. It sounds great. I've applied it, but what does that really mean? When everyone says low carb diet, that word out there, it just means lower carbs. But the reality is there's simple carbs and there's complex carbs. Complex carbs are the ones that we should be avoiding for the most part. What is complex carbs? Well, it could be bread, rice. It could be potato chips. It could be flour, and so on. Anything that has sugar or carbs are both related. Those are the complex carbs. The simple carbs that are found in vegetables, those we should have. Even if you're on a low carb diet, you should have those types of carbs because they're beneficial. Number 3 and last is what I want to tell you is this. No matter what you do, everything has some type of chemical. That's 1. But 2, the best thing that you can do is have a specific focus where your mind is your powerhouse. So even if you like meat, don't have to have it every day. You don't have to have it the biggest amount of meat that you've had. Just have a reasonable amount of meat, 4 to 8 ounces at max. And if once in a while you'll take 12, then that's okay. Watch your weight. Ask yourself how you're doing, and you will be better off than most people. China, where this study was done, most Chinese have more meat, more protein than the average people in the world. However, they also are the most active people in the world. They do the most amount of exercise. They go around in bikes. If you're doing that, if you're equivalent to that, then you're also okay. But if you're in an ill state, the best thing you should do is stop the protein, which is meat protein. Stop the fat, which is meat fat. And then you will have a start to an empowering, healthier you. This is the Mastermind Book Club. Again, recommending this book. It's very powerful. Just as Reggie said, and Martha and myself. I couldn't agree any better. This is David Diaz, and this is Reggie Hilliard and Martha Johnson signing off on the Mastermind Book Club. Take care until next week, where we'll review the 3rd part of this book.